My name is Hakeem Kae-Kazim, and I'm an actor primarily. I produce sometimes, and I'm also a sort of social activist at times as well. So that's me. Yeah, I think everybody's experienced racism, especially everybody of color has experienced some sort of racism at some point in their lives. And so, I've journeyed all over the world. I've had people sort of, when I was younger, I had skinheads sort of chase me down the streets, calling me the N-word, I've had subtle forms of racism where, I'm trying to get a taxi and I know that the taxi won't stop for me, and it doesn't stop for me, and yet it will stop for a white compatriot down the road. I think a lot of it's to do with ignorance. I think a lot of it is to do with insecurity. Those two things, plus a historical narrative that has gone along to sort of degenerate people, is very much in play there. So, it's the ignorance of really not really looking into somebody's face and looking into somebody's soul and seeing their soul rather than seeing the color of their skin. And that, again, as I said to you, I'm repeating myself, but in a historical context, history has allowed that to be perpetuated. Well, I'm here in South Africa at the moment, and I came to this wonderful country in 1995 or something like that, and the history of the place I understood, and a day like today, I think, was triggered by the Sharpeville massacre, which saw the slaughtering of young people who were protesting and wanting their rights as human beings to be equal in South African society. And so, for me, a day like at the anti-racism days, it's paramount to stop racism from all over the world for all kinds of people. It's to really allow people to live and be in peace as one humanity. I'll be bringing my kids in to watch this Peace One Day thing, and I think it's very important because we need to educate. It needs to come through the children. It needs to come, as I said to you, a lot of this is to do with ignorance and education, and the fact that people have been educated to feel and to be racist. The people aren't born racist. Kids don't understand it from that level. So we bringing the kids in and the young adults in to understand this day, to understand the consequences of racism, to understand why there is racism, and to sort of then help them to eliminate that from their being is, I think, very, very important. Look at, you look at someone, you look at their soul, you look at their humanity, not the color of their skin. And I think when we judge people on the content of their character, then we will begin to see a more equitable world. And I think that's the most important thing, because the talent on this planet is just being courted or harmed because we're not giving people the opportunity to be who they are and to be the biggest that they can be just because of the color of their skin or their gender or their race or whatever it is. Yeah, the film is very, very important, and I've always sort of thought that film can be a real sort of springboard for leveling the playing fields in terms of racism and improving racial diversity. And I think this is, apart from topic-led films, which, as you say, like Hotel Rwanda and various others, apart from those topic-led films, the film industry as a whole must play an important part in sort of creating this colorless world where race is not a factor in terms of what you look at a screen. So again, it's all about education. We're educating people, have been educating people to think that, okay, black, you've got a black stereotype in the film as a gangster or a thug, and you've got the white sort of, and to break down these stereotypes and then coming to a place of humanity. Young kids, my daughter, for example, is learning that and learning a lot of that through film, where color doesn't matter. So she's watching casting, she's watching herself as well as many other people of different nationalities on screen. And so it all becomes an all-inclusive, wonderful sort of space to be in. And I think that's a very important beginning to break down the racial sort of barriers that we have out there.